All right, guys, welcome once again to the MMOs.com podcast. Episode 181 here. Altai, joined by...
Remote.
All right.
Another week, another podcast.
We have a lot of industry news this week, a lot of big stories, but anything particularly caught your eye?
There's quite a few things I want to talk about, but I feel like we should always just go with a quick what we did this week, just for the hell of it, real quick. I've personally been playing a little bit more of Super Smash Ultimate. I have like over 60-70 hours on it already. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Playing a lot of Lucina. I'm hyped for the patch coming out today. I'm been playing a little bit of FTL last night. I actually played for a couple hours. Had a lot of fun with that. It's not exactly a new game, but one of those roguelike games. So that's really been on my docket, with a bit of Final Fantasy XIV tossed in as usual. And that's been my week, Alta. Anything exciting going on your end?
Anything exciting? Gaming-wise, I've been playing a lot of Ring of Elysium.
Ooh, I've had my fill of that earlier, but yeah, I'm glad you're getting into it now.
Yeah, we gave it the Battle Royale of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Tencent, and it's surprising that they innovated it in a way a lot of copycats haven't. But it's a great alternative to PUBG if you're looking for a free alternative to
it is. You get burnt out of PUBG, go play some Ring of Elysium, mix it up, and actually that can transition really well to a fun little story with Ring of Elysium. I thought this was a really fun read. I'll tell you. Take a look.
Story. All right, let's hear it.
Model says a Tencent game user image without permission. Okay, this is gonna be the MMOs.com jury. Okay.
Oh, all right.
We're gonna see if
court is in session.
The court is in session. Is Tencent guilty of using the character? Okay. I will represent the side that they did. I'll tell you. You're gonna say Tencent is innocent, all right?
I will say they're innocent.
Court-appointed defense attorney.
Let me show you
I'm
first.
the prosecutor.
Let me show you guys the clip or the picture. So this is a tweet of the actual model. Okay, she brought this complaint up on Twitter. So we're gonna see a picture of her. This is the model. She's wearing the Japanese. I don't want anyone to get sick mask, and whatever.
Is that what they're called? I don't want anyone sick mask. I'm pretty sure the surgeons wear those too, right?
Surgeons wear them too, but in Asia, apparently, Japan specifically, people wear these so if they have a cold or they feel like they have a cold and they don't want to get people around them sick, they wear this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, this is her picture, and this is the picture Tencent used to advertise Ring of Elysium.
It's in the game. It's a character in the game. It's not just the art they used to advertise Ring of Elysium. It's literally a playable character and one of the most popular waifu characters in the game you can unlock, named Lynn. And she looks just like that in game.
Okay, so what do you guys think? So look, she's wearing the thing, the mask, and look at the hair. I'm gonna go back and forth a little here, okay?
Listen.
Boom.
Listen.
Boom.
It's a coincidence, all right? When you draw these Asian girls, all right, once in a while, the stars align and they end up looking like that, all right? What do you say to that, all right? It could easily be a coincidence.
Wait, so I forgot. Who am I defending? Tencent?
No, I'm supposed to.
Yeah, you were supposed
to. It looked pretty similar to me, all right? It looked pretty similar to me.
Yeah, I like how Omer assigned these roles, and then he backed down.
The problem is that they did match the hairstyle like almost exactly, and the eyebrows as well. If you look at the small details in the hair and the eyebrows, it really matches like pixel perfect the in-game character. Which at this point obviously cannot be a coincidence, right? They didn't have to use the exact same hairstyle with the exact same like eyebrow positioning too. It feels like actually that character you're seeing in the photograph, that's like concept art, but she's also in the game as well, right? But in that concept art, maybe the in-game character model is a little different because you can't just import an image into a 3D character art, right? So that model they made in-game is probably a little different, but the actual picture shown where you can see her name Lynn, that's clearly just a photoshopped version of the character. So it's amazing that, this got through. I don't think I do hold Tencent to a bit of a higher regard in terms of copyright infringement and other like nonsense stuff for Chinese game companies, because Tencent doesn't really do this stuff intentionally. What it seems like to me is just somebody who works at the company just did this on their own, because there's a lot of knockoff games in China, a lot of them, and there's a lot of copyright infringement in China, like games like 300 Heroes, where you can literally play copyrighted anime characters in Goku and stuff, like in a MOBA, like Wally and stuff. Like that doesn't happen in Tencent games for the most part. So it is definitely an anomaly to see this.
Okay, I'm going to say Tencent did nothing wrong.
Hashtag Tencent did nothing wrong.
First of all, they had the good graces to change the hair color. Obviously,
right? Good graces.
So
because it's a completely different character. I've course they changed the hair color.
So
I've
blonde,
never even seen this picture before.
Blonde to red here. And the necklace she's wearing went from being this like little gold chain thing to being like a black stud necklace, right?
Ooh, true.
So and you know what? End of the day, she's a Chinese American, and by the laws of Emperor Xi, Tencent has the IP to all Chinese people. So they can.
Is that how it works? I'm pretty sure that's enshrined in the Chinese Constitution, isn't it? Where like
That's right.
Tencent owns access to all the visual lookalikes of all Chinese citizens. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
In between, Amendment 15 and 16, right there, right near the top of the list.
Yeah. So you know what? It's not a big deal. I don't care.
But what's interesting actually is that I mean, yes, it's still something you probably shouldn't do. But it gave this model. Like, she wasn't a very big model on Instagram. She's got 200K followers right now. I'm curious how many she had before this story blew up. And she's actually a really good-looking girl. I mean, I was a fan of her Instagram afterwards. I never would have found this Instagram otherwise.
Can you link me the Instagram? I don't think I have it.
It's in that page you're looking at.
Oh, the Kotaku one. All right.
Yeah. But I think she actually benefited quite a bit from this because she's gonna get a lot more followers, a lot more attention. It's gonna be a net positive. It doesn't obviously excuse what Tencent did. I mean, typically here in the West, at least, we have copyrights, and you can't just use other people in your game just like freely like that.
She's all right.
I think it ended up being a positive.
She's all right. Too much makeup.
Wow. So Altai, so what you're trying to tell me is, if she reached into your pants, would you slap her hand away or no?
No. Maybe.
Okay. Well,
maybe
maybe
she lost a key in there.
There you go. Altai's seal of approval. Altai will not slap her hand away.
There are very few times I would do that. But anyway, let's move on.
That's standard. That's a standard, by the way. We judge these things by.
Yeah. Back to MMOs.
All right. So before we get started in some other industries, there's one more thing I want to hit on because I thought was really funny. The shitty Kickstarter of the week. Something we don't really mention every week, obviously, but I found a particularly interesting Kickstarter game, which I thought was well worth checking out. We've seen some really bad Kickstarter projects, and we made fun of quite a few, but I think Rise of Hydro Knight is just a masterpiece. Okay, absolute masterpiece.
I thought these peaked, like the absurdity, but let's see. Do you want to watch the video?
First of all, look at that text. Okay, Rise of the This is straight from Microsoft Word 97 edition, right? 1997 edition. This came with the launch party of Windows 98. This is the good shit. All right, this is the premium fonts from Word Art in Microsoft Word 97. But anyway, let's check out Rise of the Hydro Knight. This game has a lot going for it, and you'll see in this trailer. This is just a lot to see in this trailer.
Oh,
all right.
Man. We're seeing like the Photoshop. Oh, here we go, full screen.
We're seeing some quality content. Look at this. You can log in. There's a lot of progress being made on Rise of the Hydro Knight. You log in and you see a server selection screen, and that's it. That's the whole video. You can just stop right there. He goes to register. It opens up some website. He just registers an account, and that's it. There's nothing else here. This man. Quick, everyone in the stream, give this man $2,500. This man needs to create Rise of the Hydro Knight. I thought this was a joke at first, actually. But I clicked into the profile of the author, and it says he's 28 years old.
28 years old.
I didn't believe. I thought this was like, you know what? I thought it was a kid. It was like a 12-year-old. Maybe he did this for like a high school programming class, and it's cute. It's cute if a kid did this, right? But let's just read go to the about section, right? I'm gonna narrate this. I feel very strongly about Rise. I think this is a masterpiece.
Let's hear this.
The game starts off in the Middle Ages, where dragons, demons, angels all collide until a hero appears and takes the battle to them. Heroes, the healers, rogues, mages, knights, titans, sorcerers, and others that you choose from to face the foes. As you level, you can decide if you want to stay mid-era or start moving into future, becoming assassins, snipers, priests, warriors. Where your imagination can take you is where you can start working towards. As you level, you get more control over how you want things, from armor, guild, homes, buildings, weapons, special creations. With all new leveling, PvP, PvE, crafting, housing, inventory, monster systems, it's all new ideas and will remain that way. If you have an ideal that is awesome, we will make the game better. We will input them into the game. We listen to our players and we'll do everything we can to make a great and different game than ever. And I like that risks and challenges section. All games have its challenges. Something happens, like your computer crashes. Something didn't save right. You got distracted. Of course, reasonable explanation for not finishing your Kickstarter page. You got distracted. You work on your game. You look to your left. You get distracted. It's done. It's all over after that. So I really thought this was a joke.
That's excuse. The clause that Star Citizen will use. We got distracted. What can I say?
Happens. So click into their Facebook, by the way. I'll tell you this. They're Alka Games Facebook. So first of all, another masterpiece of word art design. All right, we got a shield with angel wings on it with some quality text. All right, but what's actually pretty interesting is look at the newest update on Alka first gameplay footage and hit play. And doesn't this video remind you of Asher Creation.
So what do I go here? Videos. All right.
Well, if you scroll down, you'll see it in the video section. Does this look a lot like Asher Creation?
You know what? You know what's funny? Just if they just showed this in that Kickstarter video,
It'd be better. Yeah, I know.
It'd be better than him failing to log in.
But the bars in the top left, the characters moving around in this Unreal world, this looks like they just use the same assets that Asher Creation did, didn't it? Like, this looks so much like Asher Creation.
Yeah, well, it's just like the default Unreal Engine demo.
But what's crazy, this is what Asher's kind of presented to us too, but with a little bit more like flair on it, right? But like this was really not too much different. Yeah, this is exactly what Asher Creation did. So like, I don't know, it's really weird that like this is, but Asher Creation made their Kickstarter better. Obviously, they put like more pizzazz in there, and not like just these really broken like English like list of features in their games. But yeah, it's basic default Unreal Engine. We have a character moving around throwing icicles. So it's just remarkable that I guess Ash just raised a couple $1 million while these guys didn't.
I cannot believe they didn't just show this in their Kickstarter.
Listen, I was impressed by that login screen. Did you see the font on those login screens? Woo.
Dude, I can't wait to play a Rouge, all right? A Rouge is like a whole new class. You know, nobody's tried that before.
Okay, also, look at the name of the game. Rise of the Hydro Knight. What does that even mean? Like, I thought it was Knight for a second, like Knighd. Like the Rise of the Water Knights and like water-wielding knight. But no, it's like Hydro, like water, and then Night. Like, it's not daytime anymore, it's nighttime. So I'm not sure what they're going with. This really does feel like a project for like, I don't know. It seems like it'd be really cool if it was a project for like a youngster in high school or something. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the creators page, Kenneth Wiggins, he's 28 years old from New York. So this is a thing, guys. This is Rise of the Hydro Knight. I think this is one of the weirdest Kickstarter pages I've seen.
Well, he's got 2 backers so far for $100.
Yeah, his parents, obviously. I don't see who else is gonna. Like, who would give this? Who would give? Yeah, honestly, maybe his 4-year-old typed that stuff out because that makes a lot more sense. Because if you read the about page, it just seems like this person has no grasp on how to form coherent sentences. I'm not trying to be mean. It just doesn't make any sense. He's like it's just awful. Look, if his 4-year-old put this together, I'm impressed. All right, and he should have put that he's 4 years old on here, and it'd be interesting. But no, I don't know. It's just really, really odd.
It is strange, especially this Kickstarter default video he used. He literally fails to log in. I don't know if you noticed that.
He mistypes his password the first.
Yeah, he like fails to log in. Like what?
There's another Kickstarter too I found this week, not nearly as interesting or as humorous as this one, but it's called Chibera, and it's basically one of those blockchain game projects. So they're trying to make an MMORPG on the blockchain.
On
whatever
the
that
blockchain.
means.
And with music, guys.
There's nothing here to show either. There's like literally no gameplay. He just shows you the concept art, so there's not much going on here either. But it's something to do with Steam. If you look at if you go to 136, you can see the list of like features in the game. You know, you got all the check marks of blockchain connected auction house.
Oh, of course.
Land.
How else can you do a block? How you get auction house in 2019?
Of course, it's got AI and deep learning too, because why not? Like, if you just see like all these, if you see any project with these terms just tossed in without any like coherent use of them, like blockchain, AI, and deep learning, they got no idea what the hell's going on. All right.
Or he's got some client-side transactions.
Ooh, I love my MMOs with client-side transactions, boys. Vertical integration. That's the next one. That's a good one too, Canaris. I like that one.
Because he had community forums. Now that is he's delivering on that.
Whoa,
new technology.
Look, he didn't get the blockchain stuff down or the AI deep learning, but he's got one of those free forums on his website. He's got that going for him, right? So good for you, Chibera. And they have a $10,000 backer level Altai. That's what we need. We need to get a $10,000. You can be a level 10 Chibera.
What is going?
Hold on, you get a free boar mount? Sign me up. Okay, pay $10,000, you get a free boar mount. My favorite though on here though, I think is if you look at the $10,000 pledge, it includes one cute permanent in-game whale onesie costume. You get an in-game onesie as a whale. That's like such a poke. Like if you're retarded enough to back our game, we're gonna be calling you a whale by giving you a onesie in the game. All right. I love it. I love that as a whale onesie too.
My favorite part is this timeline. He is very so Q1 2019 Kickstarter funding and continued development of Elvis. Okay, so Q1 is when he started the Kickstarter, and by Q3, he says official beta starts for everyone. So open beta from Kickstarter launch to open beta is 9 months.
Listen, it's a boy with a dream. All right,
A boy with a dream.
It's so like, I don't know, but fortunately, no one's gonna fall for these anymore. I don't think. I think. But then again, people still funded Chronicles of Elyria, so I don't know. I don't think a lot of these Kickstarter MMORPGs are gonna get a lot more funding going forward. I think it's a good thing. I think probably the last few big ones are gonna be Astral Creation and Chronicles of Elyria, unless they deliver. Which I'm not, I'm not hopeful on Chronicles of Elyria really delivering quite a bit of anything. I know a couple weeks ago, Altai linked me a post on the Chronicles of Elyria forum. It was like, is this game real? Like that doesn't happen on like real games. Like no one's gonna like ask,
is Anthem real? Is Anthem coming out?
Anthem real? Like is this game gonna happen? Like people are like genuinely asking, wait, is this game real? Like is it gonna happen? Like that doesn't happen on real games. So I don't think we need too many more of these big Kickstarter funded games. And it's clear like we're getting a lot of nonsense. Like this blockchain game is never gonna happen. It's built on some other bullshit coin too called Steam It.
No, I agree. I think the golden days of the Kickstarter scam MMO are over. I think all the suckers got suckered. Okay, there's no more suckers left to get suckered.
That's true.
So that this whole method of conning people, I think, is on the way down.
All right, one more amazingly silly story I want to get out of the way before we get the more serious, nitty gritty, deep dive analysis of MMORPGs, as this podcast is known for. Right, we are the most serious business and most podcasts on the internet. But before that, Langrisser. You must have seen ads for this game everywhere on your phone.
Everywhere, you're right.
You see it on Pornhub. You see it on hanime.tv. You see that.
Aren't you paying for Pornhub now? You shouldn't be seeing ads. What's going on?
Listen. I am paying for Pornhub, but that's a story for a different day. That's a post-game story, all right?
Okay.
Anyway, Langrisser Mobile, advertising everywhere. They launched this feature where people that type in the chat box appears in your games. So this is amazing. So if you look at this guy's trying to play the game on Destructoid, these screenshots, you play the game, and just this text appears on your screen, like by default. So the first thing you'll see in the first picture is Jews did 9/11.
What?
Sub to Mangs. Like, look at the text floating on the screen.
Yeah.
You're all gay. Like, who thought this was a good idea, by the way? Down with Cheeto Hitler Prez. Look at these, imagine you're some kid trying to play this game, this mobile game, right? And like you're seeing all this nonsense. Don't associate with Jews and
explain again why it is you're seeing this text.
Okay, so the game has a built-in chat box, right, where you can communicate with everyone in the game. A lot of mobile games have it, right? But by default, the chat that people type in the world chat appears on your screen.
Did they pay? Is it like a premium currency? Like
I don't think so. I think just a regular chat.
So anyone can just spam your.
Yes.
Wow,
yeah.
That is dumb.
But it's remarkable they had this enabled by default. Like that makes no kind of. Typically, like, you'll see this nonsense chat in like any mobile game. If there's a kind of a chat box, right? It's usually moderated, by the way. But if it's not moderated, there's a chat box usually, and the chat is restricted to the chat box. However, in this game, the chat is not restricted to the chat box. It literally goes on top of your screen while you play the game. and it's called like the banter feature. You can turn it off if you want to, fortunately. But of course, a lot of anti-Semitism and a lot of fun memes are going to be happening.
Wow, I cannot believe they're just dumb.
Yeah, who thought like it would be a good idea to put this to let you do this? It's so obvious. The first thing that would happen if you let free chat like this happen is people are going to, of course, say stupid things, and it's going to get on people's screens. The game looks nice though.
It does look. It looks like a Fire Emblem kind of to me.
Yes.
But I saw these ads like, classic 27-year-old JRPG coming back for mobile. That was like their shtick. Yeah,
it's based on the Langrisser franchises. I've actually never heard of it, until this game came out. Yeah, we've been seeing the ads everywhere for it, but you can see the gameplay video for this. It's basically a Fire Emblem Heroes clone. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes didn't invent the tactics model, right? So it's more of a tactics game than a Fire Emblem Heroes. But as a mobile game, I think Fire Emblem Heroes is the closest resemblance. So it's not fair to call it a clone because, again, neither invented the tactics genre. But it's a tactics game, a lot of heroes, decent art, good music. People that play are saying the production value is decent. I've never played this one, so no opinion there. But I think it's doing decent. They got a lot of heat on their launch day for like not giving launch rewards or something. But I don't know. Looks interesting.
Yeah, there it is. It's free, and you can see some anti-Semitism while you play. So why not?
Mm-hmm. People are saying big boobs in the chat right there. I think they fixed it since because it's got a lot of like sub to PewDiePie. People nice memes in the pictures.
All right, interesting.
Yeah, that's the meme stories of the week. We got more serious stuff. Altai, what do you got?
Well, I got a little bit of a meme story as well. Actually,
I love meme stories. Let's hear it.
All right, let me. Okay, so I read a previously buy-to-play game went free to play this week, and that game was Switchblade.
So I thought you were gonna say Guardians of Ember because that was also did the exact same thing.
Well, I'm more interested in Switchblade here for a minute because so this game I actually tried it with a friend of mine, and we looked at the trailer. Oh my god, it's kind of random stuff going on. What this game is basically is it's a MOBA with cars. So you drive these cars with weapons on them, and it's little baby cars that are controlled by the AI, and you kill towers, you kill the base. So we tried playing. We did the tutorial, mandatory by the way, and then we tried to queue for a match, but we couldn't. And then we realized our mistake. This game only has 10 people playing, total.
Oof.
The player base is 10, and the all-time peak is 70. And when I realized that, I kind of felt really bad for the developers. This game came out in August 28th of 2018, and literally nobody knows what this is. Nobody knows what's going on here. They wasted all that time and money and effort, and all for naught. It's gonna shut down, I bet, because nobody's playing it.
It really is sad though, because when you have so many games and the discoverability is so low, I mean, clearly the game doesn't look terrible, but the problem is mediocre games even today. There's no market for mediocre games. It's so hard to make it. It's almost like I guess somebody turning on a stream. There's a really good article you linked me, I think, a few months ago about the thousands of people streaming to nobody. There are thousands of streams on Twitch that have literally 0 viewers. People are streaming to nobody, and they want to try making it big as streamers, and it's very unfortunate that it ends up being that, because a lot of those guys, I'm sure some of them are doing some decent content, but it never gets seen. So, but the good thing about that is it doesn't cost any money to stream. Whereas this studio, I mean, it's a real product. There's stuff happening. There's a game. You did the tutorial with Gumby, and there was something there. You played a product. But I'm sure a lot of money and time went into this, and literally no one will ever see it. Even as a free-to-play game, there was 10 players online, counting you.
You know what's funny though? I really believe there could be. I wish they did some kind of product testing, and maybe perhaps we could be some kind of consultant for these guys. If they told me in August of 2018, hey, should we release a MOBA with cars and charge money for it in 2019 or 2018? I'd be like, no, what are you doing? It's gonna fail. This is a waste of your efforts. Don't do this. And we could have saved them a lot of money, But
the thing is, when you tell somebody that, they're not gonna take your advice to heart, because I think whoever made this game clearly fell in love with it. The person who made this was passionate about it, because again, it's not by a big studio that it got okayed by a board, it got okayed by the design panel. No, it was probably 1 or 2 guys, and maybe they hired a couple of freelancers to help them with some of the art assets or the programming, and they just made it themselves, and they thought this could be the next cool thing,
Yeah, maybe they wouldn't listen. Yeah, but
anyway. I do think there is value in what you said. There should be somebody's got to be able to consult with some of the bigger companies and tell them this is a bad idea. Don't do this, because we do end up getting a lot of wasted effort on a lot of games that never go anywhere.
I really hate this whole early access model that we currently have. So the shtick now is you pay for early access, and then the game is free when it comes out, right? It should be the total opposite. It should be free during early access because you're providing valuable playtesting.
Yeah, but nobody's actually providing any valuable playtesting.
But
I've never provided
just the fact. No, it doesn't matter. Just the fact that you're logging in and they can kind of track what you're doing in the game, right? Is something. I don't understand this model where you're paying for the shittier version of an unfinished game, and then the people who wait get the full product for free. It is the stupidest, most ass-backward system, and it's amazing to me that it's still going on.
Because it's remarkable, because they've monetized the beta phase where people they monetize the most hype phase where it's almost seen as exclusive if you get in early. I remember when we were a lot younger too, when we would always look forward to new games, and if you got beta access to a game, whether it was a beta test for Battlefield 1942 for us or some other random PC game we're looking forward to, it was a big deal, and you would really look forward to getting it. You really wanted to play it, right? I remember even in World of Warcraft when I was playing when WildStar first launched, before all the early access stuff happened, and a beta invite to WildStar when it first before it launched was worth $400. People were paying $400 to get into beta for WildStar, and there was gonna be a wipe, obviously, and it was very limited beta, so it was so valuable. So companies just took that hype that people were really looking forward to games and just basically monetized it. And from a marketing and from their standpoint, it's genius. They've convinced countless number of players to pay money for early access, but it's true. What you're doing is literally paying to play a buggy game, to beta test a game, which I think Esaval in the chat said really well. You pay for testing their crap, which makes no sense, but people are doing it.
I think eventually the tide will turn against them. They're just abusing this too much. Because I remember playing the beta, the closed beta, for WoW, right?
Mhm.
And it was pretty much a finished game. Like it didn't really.
Yeah.
Right. So in the past, you did do a beta test, like an open beta or closed beta, like a month before launch, and it was pretty much done. Like, done deal. Game is ready. But now they're doing these early access for like 2 years, unfinished, and you pay money. I think they're gonna push it too much. It's gonna be a major pushback. And you know what? This game, I bet one of the reasons it's failed is because they thought that they could launch as early access and cost money for 6 months and then go to free to play. I mean, guess what? They failed. They wasted their fucking time. They wasted our time, and they failed. And they deserve it. And I hope future games realize this and they don't launch in beta and it costs money and then go free to play when they fail.
It's a ridiculous business model. Makes no kind of sense. Ooh, Checkpoint XP, much appreciated.
Rating with that's the first time I've ever been rated, right? I don't really remember seeing that. That's pretty cool. What up, though?
Oh, hell yeah. We have another game that launched free to play this week, but it's not nearly as interesting as that one. Guardians of Ember was buy to play for a while. Also, kind of a weird one because have you heard of Guardians of Ember, Altai?
Not really.
Okay, so it's basically Path of Exile, Diablo 3 style game, but it costs money. So it's really odd because it's made by a Taiwanese company called RuneWaker, the same guys that did. They're best known for Runes of Magic. So the guys that made Runes of Magic ended up making a game called Guardians of Ember. It launched as a buy to play game for like $20, and spoilers, nobody played it. Like, why are you going to spend $20 on a buy to play Diablo 3 when you can play Path of Exile for free? It's like the worst value proposition ever. Like, it made no sense to me. Like, I can see Grim Dawn, was a very premium, good game, and it's still very successful as a buy to play, isometric ARPG. But Guardians of Ember was just not that. There was no reason to play Guardians of Ember over a Grim Dawn or Path of Exile, and of course, it flopped as a buy to play game. And most interestingly, it was actually published by this studio with I think the worst name ever. It was called Insel Games. It was literally published by Insel Games. Like it's almost like a meme. But no, I think since then Insel Games shut down after they got caught for buying reviews on Steam. So it was a really funny story we talked about a while ago. Basically, Steam banned them on the platform after like leaked emails came out from their CEO emailing their employees like, "Hey, our shitty game only has like 10 reviews on Steam. We have like 30 employees. What are you doing? Like, we have 30 employees, but there's only 10 reviews for this game on Steam." So once that email came out, I think Steam banned all their games on there. I mean, I really, I shouldn't say anything too bad about Insel Games because they actually advertised at MMOs.com. I forgot what the game was. Do you remember? It was like this sci-fi game, this sci-fi ARPG style game that was on Steam for a short while.
Is it called Mad?
No, I'm gonna look at that website.
Okay, I gotta show you this website, guys. This is a very bizarre website. I think what they did with this website is they use a default layout, a default theme, and forgot to change it.
Really?
So it's called Insel Game. Is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so their logo is a palm tree with a D-pad on the sun here. Welcome to the island. Here we love games. Come play with us. And they're advertising the fact that they have 2 games published, 15 payment methods accepted.
This is bullshit. Those numbers were never changed.
6,900 forum posts made.
1 million smart ideas? What the fuck does that mean? That's literally look, that light bulb was a default part of this theme on their website that they're using. Because that means nothing. What 1 million smart ideas? They've had 0 smart ideas. The first 0 ideas when they chose to name their company Insel Games. All right, that's a big no-no. It's a dumbass name. And 6,900 forum posts? Is that like a joke? Like the guy who made the website is like, hey, 69, funny number. Okay, we gotta put 2 zeros on to make the number bigger. But there's no forum on this website, so there's no forum posts going on over here, which makes no sense.
It is a very odd website. Okay, so apparently the games they have World of Fishing and MAD as their games.
So somebody in the chat mentioned actually too, Big Body Matt. The game was Wildbusters. So Wildbusters actually that was the game that started a big shitstorm for Insel Games, because Wildbusters they gave us like $2,000. So good for them. I love you guys. Appreciate the $2,000. But your game sucked ass. But they advertised on MMOs.com, and then they got a lot of shit for telling their employees to vote for the game on Steam, and it was all downhill since then. It's also weird because of buy to play.
I actually suspect every company does that, but maybe they don't get caught doing it.
Yeah, I mean the idea that you're always gonna push your employees to leave positive reviews for your game when it results in better sales.
I feel like that's something you say in person, with your mouth, and not an email you send that can be tracked back to you.
Yes, That's step one. You never do that. That's something you have to do in person.
It's like asking for bribes. You don't write an email saying, please give me money and I will approve this, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, like you're right. I'm sure a lot of smaller studios do the same thing too. Like they tell their employees.
I have no doubt that every single game on Steam, the employees are giving it 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad that they got caught for that.
They got skewered for that, and all their games got banned on Steam since.
Wow.
And now that Guardians of Ember game is being published by it used to be Insel Games. Now it's being published by Gameforge, I think. So it's free to play now, and I think because it's free to play, it's in closed beta free to play. I think it'll get a bigger audience. It just never made sense because if you can't compete like in quality versus Path of Exile, what makes you think you can charge money for that game? People aren't stupid. They're not going to pay money to play your jank ass ARPG when they can play a quality ARPG like Path of Exile entirely for free.
It is odd. So is this on Steam now as a buy-to-play game?
No, I think it's just like the Gameforge official website right now.
Okay.
Because it's still in closed beta. I think they got it the full launch yet. But hey, it's free to play, so maybe people will actually play it now.
All right, we'll see how it does.
All right. We got a spicy story in Belgium. They're trying to ban those loot boxes. Have you heard about that, Altai?
Yeah, well, they did ban them, and I think the news you're going to link about the link is that EA is finally complying with it. So EA kind of just ignored Belgian regulators and kept saying, you know what, we're going to keep selling our little FIFA loot boxes. But they did change their mind and said, wait a minute, we don't want to get sued.
Mm-hmm. But do you think it's going to have any broader effects on the games industry? I think a lot of people have been speculating for a long time that this process that started in the EU, and then we've seen, I think, Hawaii and a few other states in America actually push back against the idea of loot boxes and RNG free-to-play mechanics where like you pay to roll, whether it's gacha mechanics or loot boxes. They're pushing back and calling that gambling. I think it's gaining some traction. And I do think the games industry as a whole does face some kind of like threat of regulation on this front.
They do, and actually, there's a related story that Epic started disclosing what actually comes in a loot box before you buy it for Fortnite, the original version, the Save the World. Mm-hmm. Because I honestly I don't even know why they still have loot boxes for that because it's just, I don't get why they're even still developing that or trying. But either way, so I think they realized that they don't want to get caught out. They don't want a good thing to come to an end with Fortnite.
Yeah,
they don't want the stupid Save the Night thing.
Doesn't have loot box though. You're buying the skins and stuff outright.
No. For the Save the World version.
Yes, that's true.
There's loot boxes. And now they just changed it to make it so that you know what's in it before you buy it because they don't want that version sinking the cash cow that is the Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's crazy just how much better monetized games are today versus like 20 years ago. And it's actually remarkable how 10, 15 years ago even, when you bought a game, you paid $50, $60 for it, and that was it. There was no other way to make money off that game. The company sold you a product, you got everything for $50, $60. Now it's when you buy the game or you download the game, that's the start of a long process. And I think you can really measure how effective this is. I think the best way anyone can measure this is if you ask your friends, how much money have you spent in League of Legends? Because that's a game I think a lot of people have played, and you know friends that played as well. And they do a pretty good job because I think on League of Legends' website, their account management website, there's a page that tells you how much money you spent on the game altogether. It adds up all the money you've ever spent on the game. And I've asked my friends that quite a bit. A lot of my friends spent thousands of dollars on League of Legends. A game that's marketed as free to play. But if you spend like $2,000 on a game, it's a lot of money. That's like a top tier gaming PC for one game. $2,000 on a single game was unheard of. If you count all the money you spent on gaming, like before free to play games took off, like that $2,000 might pay for like 30 of your like you buy 40 full budget games on that on your console. Now that pays for one game, League of Legends, and $2,000 is not even, I would say, not even on the high end. If you play League for years, it's conceivably they spent $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on League of Legends alone. Now I have friends that they work pretty simple jobs, $10, $15 an hour jobs. They're not doing amazing financially, and they've spent $2,000 to $3,000 on a single game.
My God.
Compared to and this is just the beginning too. Mobile games are getting insanely good at monetizing as well. In fact, I think mobile is going to monetize better than League of Legends ever did. If you look at the numbers for like Fire Emblem Heroes, the Dragalia Lost, a new Nintendo game, the average value of if you download Dragalia Lost on your phone today, some of you might already have it. If you download that game, on average, everyone who's ever downloaded and installed that game has spent so far on average like $20. Nintendo's made on average $20 for every single install of that game. Obviously, some players spend zero; they spend nothing. But that means the people that spend money make up for the people that spend nothing, where the average is $20. If that average ever gets like $50, $60, it's going to be insane. because a free game is going to monetize better than a full budget $60 game, where the average ends up being that high. So it's absolutely insane how well they're monetizing.
Oh, we got a whale right here. I spent $5,200 on FFXIV. That's impressive. Omar and I both tried that game.
Beautiful game.
We didn't get too far, but
yeah, I played like probably 2-3 hours. No, I played probably 5-6 hours in FFXIV. Never got too far into it either. But in terms of UI, it's actually the prettiest. Like the skill animation, the art. It's actually one of the best looking mobile games I've played. I've just never gotten hooked on any mobile game to date, but I've played that one probably the most. So the games themselves are getting better. Still obviously lacking in some depth, I think. But it's remarkable how well they're monetizing players. I mean, it's not just you, Denja12. He admits he's got a gambling gotcha problem. I think what makes gotcha games, gotcha waifu games, Fake Grand Order, Dragalia Lost, FFXIV, all these games so successful is that they really do tap the gambling addiction that is, I think, inside of almost all of us. Because I know people that never go to casinos, right? They don't gamble. Like the idea of gambling money in a casino is like unheard of for them. Like younger people especially, they don't go to casinos. It's almost like it's taboo. It's like that's something you're supposed to do, right? You're not supposed to go to a casino. You're not supposed to gamble. It's kind of looked down upon, right? So a lot of young people our age, especially, and younger, they don't gamble in a casino. And because they've kind of been brought up never to gamble in a casino, they don't actually get exposed to gambling. However, they get exposed to gambling in a different way, and that's through gacha games and mobile games and loot boxes. And once that takes hold of people, I think it's eye-opening. I cannot stress enough just my experience running a casino in Final Fantasy XIV, where people would bet with me.
That's a good point. Yeah, talk about that. Tell them the story about you told me about the odds and the competitor.
Yeah, so running a casino in Final Fantasy XIV today, I mean, I've ran casinos in EverQuest, EverQuest 2, Dark Age of Camelot, and Final Fantasy XIV most recently. So the way a player casino works these games is you just type /random in the game, and when you type /random, it gives you a random number between 0 and 1,000. So I would advertise in the game, come place your bets at Remote's Casino. I'm next to the Aetheryte. You can bet anywhere from 10,000 gil to 10 million gil, and if you roll above a 590, I give you double your money. Over 950, I give you triple your money. So I'm advertising my casino. The casino, of course, is structured to favor me, the house. I have about a 10% house edge. 12% actually. So I'm going to win money in the long run, obviously. And running that casino I ran it for months and months and months, probably at least a year. I've had a remarkable insight into how people develop gambling addictions. I mean, it seems like so silly at first, but like there are people that get so addicted to gambling in Final Fantasy XIV in my player casino. It's actually, I almost feel bad when they gamble because some people, they lose everything they have to me in game. They lose every gil they have in the game and end up being broke. What's also interesting too is before I get to more details about that, there's another player casino right next to me. We advertise in the same spot. He advertises not.
Hello? Can you guys hear me? Can you repeat that? It broke up on my end. So he advertises next to you.
So our internet's getting cut off, unfortunately, a little bit. But all right. So there's a guy advertises right next to me in the casino.
Okay.
He advertises at a 17% house edge. And I advertise about 12% house edge. So logically, I figure, like, I made a big mistake. I assumed could do some basic math in their head, right? Where if they look at the odds of both casinos, they'd play the one with the better odds. But I found that just as many people were playing this guy's casino next to me who offered like 50% worse odds. He had an 18% house edge, where I had 12% house edge. So logically, if you play with me, you win 50% more money. Or rather, you lose 50% less. But he had just as many players as I did. So people couldn't run the numbers in their head. But the most remarkable thing about running a casino for years is just to see players get addicted and the development process for them when they first start gambling to how they get addicted. I had one customer in the game, one gambler, who bet 10,000, my absolute minimum, right? 10,000 gil in Final Fantasy XIV is worth nothing, by the way. 10,000 gil is nothing. 1 million gil, an RMT websites will sell for about $1.50, by the way. At the cheapest price you can get on player auctions is $1.50 for about 1 million gil, by the way. So this guy would bet 10,000 gil, it's nothing, right? So for like weeks at a time, this guy bets 10,000. He would walk by me, see my advertisement, he bets 10,000. And when he loses, he bets 20,000. If he loses again, he bets 40,000. The good old martingale strategy where every time you lose, you double. So he bet 10,000. If he loses, he goes to 20 to 40 to 8, and he might win eventually, right? At 160,000, he bets, he wins. He wins his money back in the 10,000 profit, and he stops. So this guy's been playing at my casino for like months, right? Almost weeks or months. And eventually, he gets on a pretty bad losing spree. He only bets 10,000 to start with. My max bet is 10 million. So he's betting 10,000, loses. 20,000, loses. 40,000, loses. 80,000, loses. 160K, loses. 320K, loses. He gets up to 1 million, loses. 2 million, loses. 4, 8. And he loses. He bets 10 million. He loses as well.
Oh no!
He started betting the absolute minimum, and he just kept doubling, thinking he's got this foolproof strategy to win in the casino. And he hits my max bet, and he lost 10 million. I won 20 million off that guy because remember, I won 8 million to 4 million to 2 million as well, plus the 10 million bet at the end. So that's 20 million. 20 million in game is a decent chunk of change. 20 million is worth about $30 US, easily liquidatable on player auction for about $30. And I had another player who basically he played for about an hour and he lost everything he had. He's like, oh shit, I lost all my gil. How does this happen? He's like, can I borrow can you just give me like 1K back so I can afford to teleport around? I gave him his 1K back. And he later messages me like, yo, dude, can I please get my money back? I'm like, no, like that's not the way it works. I'm not gonna give your money back, obviously.
So eBay.com, like, look at that.
So at the end, he's like, what if I buy you something in the Mog Station and gift it to you? I'm like, I said, message me on Discord. So he messaged me on Discord because I don't want to talk about RMT in game because I don't want to get banned. He buys me like some $10 item in the cash shop, and for his first $10 item, I give him back. I give him back 5 million. He's really happy. I got a really good deal for that, or something. So I got a $10 item in game from this guy back. But it's truly remarkable to me just the addiction that forms. People that start playing with small amounts end up getting addicted because they end up playing for like every time they see me, they'll play. This one person bet like 3 million, 2 million, and then stop. And I find out why he stops playing after about 20 minutes. It's not because he's done playing. He runs out of money, and he goes back to grinding. He'll be farming items to sell in the auction house so he can get more money to play in my casino. And he plays till he loses. This story is repeated literally dozens of times. I have seen people that normally don't gamble at all, but they get addicted to my random casino in Final Fantasy XIV. I've had friends in my own guild in the game. Like, I'll try this casino. I've never gambled before, but I'll try it out, right? And to see them from going like trying it out to betting like everything they have within a short like couple hours, it's remarkable. And this effect is they're using in-game currency, right? A lot of people aren't buying in-game currency from these Chinese gold sellers and using it that way. But when you talk about loot boxes, they developed an addiction for like cash. They're losing like real US dollars, and that adds up very quickly. And the problem is these people have never been exposed to gambling or know how to deal with gambling addiction because they don't gamble in a casino. They think they're not gambling when they're buying loot boxes, but they end up gambling, and the addiction really takes over them. It's just so weird to see the reaction to people that just lose everything. I mean, I made about a billion gil in Final Fantasy XIV, which is worth about like $2,000. I mean, it's not. I did it very casually, but $2,000 worth of in-game currency, playing for fun, running it on my other monitor was interesting to me, and I had fun running it as well. So it's a good chunk of change, and to see people devolve and become gambling degenerates, I've seen so many people devolve, become complete gambling addicts in the game.
It is a bizarre sunk cost fallacy thing going on. And I haven't played Final Fantasy, but Omer and I used to do casinos in Ultima Online. And in Ultima Online, unlike Final Fantasy, you could just straight up scam. You didn't have to pay out for your casinos. So we would scam people. But we knew the minute they bought one, the minute they gambled with us once, we had the tricks ready to get everything they had. Because once you put that first chip on the table, we know we have you. Okay? And then from there, with social engineering, we can take every last penny you have. And in Ultima Online, there was no chance of you winning because there was nothing to win. It was a scam. But that kind of is why I was so against these mobile gacha games from the beginning. And I've been kind of more critical on them than the average. Because I understand the mentality. They give you those free spins. Like in this game, Destiny Child I'm playing, you get that one free summon a day. They give you the free crystals every day. You can do like one free summon every 2 or 3 days if you get all the crystals. Because they know that if the second you don't get what you want to get, when they release that new hero and it runs out in like 6 days, people are going to spend money. They just have this compulsion to get what they were promised.
No, I think Matt actually asked a good question. I mean, these people don't realize they're addicted, obviously. Can you tell us how to identify the emotional state that triggers addiction? I think it's really when you first place a bet for the first time you're gambling, whether it's in a casino, in a video game, in a loot box. If you win on that first bet, I think it's really bad for your mental health. Because if you realize, hey, I made a $10 bet at the craps table, or I won a million gil in Final Fantasy XIV in literally 2 seconds, typing /random, and I won 1 million, where normally to get maybe 2-3 million gil in Final Fantasy XIV would take 8 hours of grinding, and I got that in literally like 4 seconds. Whoa, that like the dopamine in their brain goes on overload. It's like, holy, this reward for this little bit of time, it really screws nothing with your brain chemistry, whether it's at the craps table or a loot box or in-game gambling. that reward mechanism just goes on overdrive, and all of a sudden you can't control it, and you want to get that reward mechanism right away again for another 2 seconds of work. So clearly, you would think that you can look at this rationally and be like, I got lucky, but that's not the case. People clearly cannot take a step back and look at this. I think that's the people that win. Like when a new player comes to me who have never gambled in my casino before, and he bets like 3 million, 4 million, I pray he wins. Let him win the first few. I want this guy to win, and I always cheer them on in game too, because I know if they win, they're going to come back and they're going to lose it all. I think my best story, my most interesting story is from one customer won 120 million gil off me in the span of like 2 hours, and like some amazing string of luck, right? It happens, right? He won 120 million, which in US dollar terms is comfortably worth, maybe like $300. Not bad for like an hour of slash randoming in game, right? He's like, thanks, I'm done. I'm never gonna gamble again. Easy money. And he left. I'm like, this guy's gonna gamble again. Literally the next morning. So this was at nighttime, like 10 p.m. my time. He stopped. Literally the moment he woke up the next day, he was waiting for me to log in. He messaged me, hey, you online? You're in a casino, bro? I'm like, yeah. I'm in Limsa. I'll meet you there. The moment I log in, he meets me there, and he's gambling again. Dude, this guy won 120 million. What is he gambling for? First of all, there's nothing in Final Fantasy XIV that even costs that much money. Like 120 million would buy you anything in the game anyway. So he clearly didn't even need the money. Because at that point, you have so much money that you can't buy anything with. But this guy wanted to gamble. And he literally lost all 120 million in the span of like 2 hours. And he lost another 50 million on top of that.
Oh,
so he lost 170 million at the end. So he lost 50 million at the end, net 50 million, after he was up 120 million. Which makes no sense, because you can buy everything. You don't need to gamble anymore at that point. You have all the money you need. And it was really, really bizarre. At a certain point, he's like, can I bet my house? Like, he has a house in the game. He wanted to bet that. Like, it was worth 30 million. I kind of wanted it, but like, if you own a house, I already have a free company house, so I didn't even want a personal house, because if you have a personal house, you need to log in every like 30 days to make sure it stays there. I told him if you sell it, you can gamble, but I didn't want the house. So he started spamming in the chat. Like, he's trying to sell his house now to fuel his gambling addiction. No joke. It's the weirdest thing ever.
You made this guy.
It really made me think, like, dude, this is addiction. That was addiction right then and there. It was so obvious there was something wrong. But like, I'm not really doing anything wrong. You're allowed to do this in the game. Like, and thankfully, this guy's, hopefully he will learn a lesson that he wasted a lot of time in the game, and he's using in-game currency, which it has real life value, but not a lot. I mean, he lost like $300 worth of US dollars, but he probably got that in the game, earning it himself in RMT. I don't know. But it's really, I mean, some players, for the most part, maybe like I ran this for about a year, and of all the players that have gambled with me, maybe 5 players ever have walked away with profit and then never came back again. Maybe 5 players. Everyone else became regulars, and they're all just digging deeper in the hole. Like, at a certain point, you will never dig yourself out. But there are people that sometimes bet big amounts they won and they never came back. So they walked away with money, and good for them. But most players just keep digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole. I think at one point, actually, the math was so bad where this guy, he lost like 70 million to me. And actually, this trade is actually in my Twitch VODs on MMOs.com. I was streaming when this happened. He lost 70 mil to me, and he goes, fuck this. I'm going to run my own casino. So I'm like, all right, dude, you do what you got to do, right? You do what you got to do. So he starts advertising his own casino right next to me. But this poor sap, he cannot run basic math. So his casino ends up being advantageous for the player. Where my casino has a 12% house edge, his casino ended up having a 14% player advantage. So he was paying like he did like, okay, slash random, if you roll over 550, you win double your money, which obviously is a house edge right there. But if you roll over 800, you win triple your money. Wait a minute, if you win triple your money over 800, but double your money over 550, you only lose on 550 numbers, and you win on 450 numbers. But the winning on 800 plus is times 3, which brings you to basically winning on everything above 450, which is a pretty huge player advantage. So I'm like, dude, are you sure you want to run those odds? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm like, okay, can I play? He's like, yeah, of course you can play. So I give him like 5 million. It was his max bet, and I lost. I'm like, oh damn, I lost. I'll try again. I bet another 5 million. I'm max betting him every time, and I win. He pays me. And then for about 30 minutes, we start playing with me max betting every single time. And every time I lose, I'm like, shucks, I'll get the next one. Eventually, he runs out of money completely. He's like, I can't afford to pay you anymore, so you can't bet anymore. I'm like, all right, it was a good run. You got really unlucky, I'm sure. Maybe next time you make some money. I had this random guy playing in one of my Twitch VODs too. So this guy just could not run the math. I don't get it.
Well, I think that's a big problem right there. Math,
yeah, people don't know math.
People don't know math.
If people knew math, they would at least play my casino over some other guy's casino who's charging 20% house edge.
They wouldn't play casinos Period. If they knew math.
I think most people realize that the casino has an advantage. I think most people that gambled, I don't think I deceived them in any way. They fell to their own addiction, but I don't think I ever deceived them.
You didn't deceive them. They just don't know what's going on with numbers.
Yes, definitely yes. Their number game is clearly very weak.
So I'll phrase it this way. Okay, so you said your casino has a 12% house edge, right?
Yes, I had about 12% house edge.
Imagine your house edge was 15% or 20%. Do you think anyone would even change? Nope. Nobody. Here's the thing. People wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, that's the thing. They generally would not notice. People cannot run the math on those to figure out what the odds are. So the fact that I had 12% house edge, in fact, I would advertise in my macro that would /shout in Limsa, best odds in Eorzea, which is what the world of Final Fantasy XIV is called. I would advertise I have the best odds, which I actually did have the best odds, right? I had 12% house edge. Where I had two other competitors. One was 18, one was like 16. I had by far the best odds. 50% difference between 12% and 18%. That's huge. And the remarkable part is both my competitors would also advertise best odds in Eorzea. And they're just fucking lying. They had the worst odds. And they're advertising the best odds. And people can't do the math. And they play on... We split the customers evenly. You know, we all got our slice of the pie. But I feel like I basically conned myself by offering better odds to the player. When I could have charged 20% house edge and I would have made more money.
Yeah, you could have charged 20% and said best odds.
Yeah, just like these guys did. They're just lying.
Oh my god.
So it's quite the meme.
As Lord P.T. Barnum once said, "There's a sucker born every minute."
And at that moment, I realized like how effective microtransaction loot boxes really are. Until I personally witnessed it in Final Fantasy XIV, because we ran casinos in EverQuest as well, but in Ultima Online, again, you were allowed to scam. So we scammed in Ultima Online when we were like 12, right? But in Final Fantasy XIV, you can't scam. If you scam once, you get banned. So at no point did I even think about scamming in Final Fantasy XIV. So once I ran a legit casino for a long period of time, I really understood the addiction. And I've had people in my free company too that don't gamble, that became addicts, that would never step foot in a real casino. But they clearly are susceptible to the RNG mechanics of the game. RNG has a really weird impact on the human brain, I think. And the reward mechanisms for that has been perfected in a lot of mobile games, in a lot of loot boxes. Even like in Overwatch, even when the way that loot box shakes before it opens, the way the colors fly out, that's all like, I'm sure Activision Blizzard has psychologists on staff to see what gets the most like response from the brain. Like they chose those colors very deliberately. The way that loot box shakes, the way in FIFA Ultimate Team, the way like those cards pop out of those packs, the way the golden Ronaldo looks, all that shit is mapped out.
I think we definitely need regulation here. It's you cannot expect any one company to self-regulate because then they're missing out on all the money. But if the government bans this practice, they can all go back to making good games and competing on the good game frontier rather than this kind of microtransaction frontier.
Mm-hmm. So it's the monetization is getting out of control. I mean, even like I think the thing is what's remarkable too. Some mobile games they don't have RNG and they still do really well too. I think the only like
Fortnite, there's no RNG or the Battle Royale.
That's a much fairer model.
And it makes the most the most money.
Yeah, because it's so immensely popular.
So
right?
we cannot. I think Fortnite proves that these game companies like EA or whatever, they cannot tell us that this is the only way to make money. Because
that's true. That's
the
true.
one game that's killing their entire, that's ruling, dominating everything, it doesn't do this.
Mm-hmm. I think Overwatch is very generous with their loot box too, but I think there's still a fundamental issue almost when like you have a team of designers that are just designing the loot box graphics to really just get you psychologically addicted. Like everything is there to determine the RNG mechanics to juice the same parts of your brain that get activated with form of gambling. But Fortnite does it really well. We've seen a lot of those mobile strategy games that I think are awful and they're completely pay to win, but they monetize really well. What gets people addicted to those pay to win mobile strategy games? Because that's a different part of the brain, I think, because it's not like RNG, because those games don't have RNG. You're buying power outright and resources outright in whether it's Final Fantasy 15 New Empire, Game of War, Mobile Strike, those games. I'm curious the psychological profile of the people that end up falling for those, because I don't think it's the same kind of person that falls for gambling. Because gacha gaming, whether it's FGO, FFXIV, there's clearly gambling mechanics in those loot boxes and the gacha systems. But what gets you addicted to those other games, I'm not quite sure yet, but they got something figured out there too. That's true. Sunken cost makes a lot of sense too, because if you spent all this time, hours and hours on your base, and it gets threatened, you could spend maybe $100 to defend it, and then maybe next time you spend $500 to defend it, and then so forth.
I think it's a lot of sunken cost too, because people feel if they start losing, they can't accept the loss and walk away either. They say, okay, let me take my money back and then I'll stop.
Yes.
They value the money they lost more than its actual value. So if you lost $10, you lost $10. You shouldn't spend $50 chasing that $10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember I'm looking at our what's remarkable is the most successful game on MMOs.com, by the way. It's this is still a really interesting story. The most profitable thing we've ever done on MMOs.com. I mean, this probably surprised a lot of you. There's a game called Vikings. And I'm going to link you our page for this.
Heroes of Nord or something?
No, War of Clans. So show that on stream. The most successful game and the most profitable part of running MMOs.com for us, single advertiser, is this game, Vikings War of Clans. It's a mobile and browser strategy game. So what happens is it's just like Game of War. You build a base, you can buy resources, you fight other people. That same nonsense that we've seen countless times. If you hit the big old Play Now button we got there, or any of those Google Play buttons, you go to the game page, but with our link. So 50% of the money you spend on this game, MMOs.com gets as our commish, our dosh, our cash money. So we get 50% of all the spending that people make on this game. And when I signed up for this, I'm like, hey, maybe somebody will sign up for this game, spend some money. We get some money from MMOs.com. It's nice because the advertising rates themselves aren't very high. So if you see a banner on MMOs.com, we make like nothing on it. Like an actual banner ads make like $20 a day, maybe or less. Very little bit of money on the actual ads themselves. But if we get our commission from sending players to Vikings War of Clans, so they find this game on MMOs.com on their own. It's like we don't run banners for this; they just find it. And if they click on that link, we get 50%. And I'm looking at the revenue we've made from that game because I have a back end from them where you can see how much money people have spent. People have spent in the last 2 years, altogether they spent $40,500 on that game. $40,500. So of course we get half of that. We've made $20,286 from our share of Viking War of Clans. I never thought that, maybe like when Black Desert Online launches, they're going to make a big advertising campaign on MMOs.com. Yeah, Black Desert advertised with us. They spent like $2,000. That's it for Black Desert. And then maybe another game launches, they spent $1,000. But no, off one obscure mobile and browser game, they spent $40,000. It's insane. And what's remarkable is most of the money, half the money came from probably one or two users, big whales. So it's absolutely nuts. Also, what's interesting too is we sent them a total of looks like 2,281 registrations, right? We gave them 2,280 signups, and of those signups, only 3% ever spent money. Only 3%. So 79 people spent even a penny on that game, right? But the thing is, those 79 players end up spending $40,000. And those 79, on average, the 79 players, the average revenue per paying user is $520. So that means if you spent one penny on Vikings War of Clans, statistically you end up spending over $500. The average spend per paying user is over $500, which is insane. Who's got this kind of money to spend on this shit?
And the best part is, this is the same game as 1,000 others. It's just like a reskin,
yes.
Like Clash of Clans, Game of War. They all do this.
It's a pure reskin. There's nothing special here. The game is trash. It's pay to win. And there's a reskin. There's nothing special. Like, why would you even play this game? Look, we made $20,000 off these guys. Don't play this game. It sucks ass.
But if you want to try it, guys, here's the link.
Yeah, if you want to try it, there you go. Click that link I sent you, right? But I really, if you want to play a mobile pay to win game, there are better ones. Go play Clash of Clans. It's better. It's still pay to win, but it's better. I think the reason people go hard on them is what Chaos said earlier. It's sunk cost. So if you end up playing one of these games for fun, and you end up you spend like 3 hours on it, and then your base is under attack by another player, and if you don't defend your base, you lose. And if you know the resources or the units in the game to defend, and you're going to lose the battle, your base gets conquered. So you could just spend like $20 and train some units really fast to defend your base. Maybe get more resources instantly, and that option is very tempting when you've already spent time in the game. They monetize your sunk costs really well. Clash Royale is a good one.
Yeah, I like Clash Royale. Yeah.
Clash Royale is actually one of my favorite mobile games. It's one of the only ones I've actually played for a long time as well.
The beauty about Clash Royale is in the tournament mode, right? The competitive mode, tournament. Not I should say.
It's free.
It's free.
It's fair.
It's fair. All the units are set level, so regardless of whether you have upgraded your unit or not, it's a set level. So it's always a fair match.
But after all these years, guys, Vikings War of Clans is the most profitable game page on MMOs.com. And what's even more telling, it goes back to our casino story, is if you click on the company Plarium that makes this game, it's called Plarium Global, the Israeli gaming company, right? They were literally bought by a company called Aristocrat, which is they make slot machines. Some Australian company that makes slot machines bought Plarium. The company that makes this Vikings War of Clans is owned by a literal slot machine manufacturer, and they make the software as well, obviously. So a gambling company ended up buying this mobile strategy game.
I mean, that shows you the business models are pretty closely related.
But there's still no RNG or gacha mechanics in these games, as far as I'm aware of. So they monetize the desperation and the sunk cost.
Indeed.
But it's odd. I mean, you'll never see me making a video saying go play Vikings War of Clans, it's a great game. It's a shit game. Since the moment we covered this game, I said it was shit many times. But I'm gonna put the link on MMOs.com because if I don't put my link there, I get nothing. And I'm still gonna have the page is gonna be on MMOs.com regardless. I might as well put my affiliate link on there and get 50% commission. I'm never gonna praise a game that's ass. I'm still gonna say it's ass, but if they're gonna click into it and play it, we're gonna get our commission.
Listen, guys, don't knock it till you try it. Just give it a try. You don't know. Maybe it'll be good.
Maybe you'll get addicted. All right,
kid. Want some Vikings?
Actually, another interesting story. We have a friend that works in the online advertising world, right? So he runs an advertising agency, a publishing agency, where basically he works with advertisers, and he puts their ads on other websites. So you might work with sites like MMOs.com. We don't work with him, but basically, he talked about one of his clients, Final Fantasy XIV: A New Empire. So if you show that game off in the background, it's basically the same exact game as this game, right? So what his company will do is his company gets $50 if they can send a user to this game that plays the game till they get 100,000 power in game, which is it takes about a couple days, probably a week or so, half a week to unlock in the game. So they'll work with game companies or game websites, MMOs.com. They'll work with a lot of a lot of free to play games of you can unlock premium currency in game if you play other mobile games, right? If you played any mobile game, you've probably seen a similar system to that. So basically, Final Fantasy XIV: A New Empire is willing to pay $50 for you to download their free game and play for a couple days. And they ran the numbers where on average, if they pay you they'll spend $50 to get you to play the game, and they figure that they're going to get a return on that investment. They would spend $50 to get you to download the game for free and play it for for a week, and that returns it's a good return on investment for them. So it's crazy they're willing to pay $50 for a single user, even though that user may not spend a penny.
So the way they track it is
even if you don't pay, as long as you play the game.
Yeah, you reach a certain level or power level, whatever it is.
Yeah, in the game you reach a certain power level in the game
because they figure their addiction algorithm is good enough that even if you go into it with no intention to actually pay,
yes, exactly,
and you're only playing it because they're going to pay you to play it, that is insidious when you think about it. They ran the numbers and said, listen, even a guy who says he has no intention of paying and he's doing it just for the money, we are so confident in the addiction level of our product that we will get this guy. We will get our $50 back and then some.
I mean, somebody mentioned that you can farm that with bots, but you can't because you can obviously try, but it's the publisher, which for my friend's advertising company, would be the one that's trying to do the anti-fraud, right? Mm-hmm. And they have to prove the numbers too, because they have their own anti-fraud detection too. But I actually did one of these for fun. There's a mobile game I played called Bang Dream. It's a rhythm dancing game with cute Japanese idols. Very good, very very one of the best rhythm games I've ever played. Right. So in that rhythm game, you get premium currency. They give you $25 for the premium currency if you play Final Fantasy XV: A New Empire as one of the offers to get free currency in the game. So I downloaded the game and I played it with no intention of paying money, obviously. So I played it for I had a lesser version because only $25. I played for one day. I got my 10K power level in the game, and then I got my $25 in Bang Dream. So I played and they offer this to everyone, and obviously some players get addicted, and they figure it's still worth it for them.
Lord Foe said, I have the most legendary conviction that no shady J-funded game company could get me to fold. Don't
trust that dude. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll learn over time that you're not different than other people. These companies know what they're doing with this stuff. There's so many times I live in Vegas too with Omer, and there's so many times where they give you $10 coupon if you sign up for the players card at the casino, right? And then we think we're being smart by taking advantage of the $10 promotion, but we end up losing more. We lose $100 that day playing the casino games. I mean, we're not too addicted to casinos, thankfully, but They always get their money back from us. You know, there's no free lunch here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and all these games are the exact same. And I would say I'm well above average in terms of resisting to spending money, but I'm not going to even say I'm immune to it. I mean, I've only spent like $20 in League of Legends in the last like 8 years on like nothing. I don't spend any money on mobile games. I've never spent a penny on Clash Royale, the only mobile game I played a good amount of. And I don't buy optional items in like Final Fantasy 14, but I'm not immune to it either. Once they figure out like the best way to do it, like if they can flash the colors in the right way on your screen with the right waifu, with the right lolly waifu, you know, you never know. The wallet might open. You know,
wallet might open.
As AI gets better, they're going to find better ways to convert people into paying members. And maybe you as a user will be, something else will work on you. So maybe it'll study your habits when you play the game and present you like different ways to monetize. Like it'll give you different offers than other people, different ways to sell you on it, you know? For me, obviously, I see the nice, cute lolly waifus. For Alta, he'll see something else.
All right. Well, there's a quick story we can cover real quick. RuneScape is for sale again. So a couple of years back, a Chinese company bought it. But after some renaming and shuffling, they don't want it anymore, and it's for sale now. So who do you think, Omer, was going to end up owning Jagex?
Gonna be I'm gonna say it's gonna be Tencent probably. It's always Tencent is my default option for almost all the gaming acquisitions. They're the biggest game company. They got a lot of dough, and I think there's this Chinese company bought Jagex in 2016, I think, for $300 million, and since then, RuneScape is doing better than ever. It's got an all-time high in monthly active users and revenue and profit. So I think it's gonna sell for quite a bit more than what they bought it for. It could easily sell for double or maybe even more. So we'll see what they go for.
That's my guess too, Tencent. I think Tencent should be the one who buys it, but who knows?
Valve, that would be interesting. I mean, RuneScape is I would say RuneScape is one of the few like premier MMORPGs that's really lasted and survived all this time. I mean, it could be Valve actually. I think Valve is an interesting bet.
We have a lot of followers who play RuneScape, regularly, but I still think it's kind of underplayed how big it is. It's got 1 million paid users, right? It's insane. I think it might be number 2 in America after WoW. Like I know there's on the Reddit MMORPG subreddit, there was some arguing on what game is bigger after WoW. So is it Final Fantasy, ESO, or RuneScape?
RuneScape is bigger than all of them, I say.
Yeah, I think so too, actually.
Yeah, RuneScape has been a slow grower for all this time. You know, like the most successful games they grow over time. RuneScape is their all-time peak, and they're still steadily adding new users. They're doing a great job. Like they're pretty universally liked. I think it could fit well with Valve.
I don't think that'd be Valve.
It could be.
Yeah. So yeah, RuneScape's got 1 million subscribers. That is a huge number.
RuneScape's probably the only growing MMO in the West, maybe Chaos Shield, because I'm sure there's some Chinese games that are still popping. Dungeon Fighter Online is still booming as well, and also Dungeon Fighter Online is making more money today than ever before. But Western games, there really aren't that many. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV actually reports their last expansion. Square Enix said the game had the highest ever subscribers like in their history. It's obviously dipped since then because there's been no update, no expansion since then. But I think when Final Fantasy XIV's Shadowbringers launches, it'll have all-time peak once again. So it's one of the only growing Western MMORPGs.
All right, I found a bad article there. That's true. Let me find a newer article.
Nice one, Altai.
There is a newer one as well.
I think we might have one on MMOs.com.
Yeah. Let's see.
There's one at Game Industry Up is from September 7th, 2018, but there's even a newer one. And we got an email about their record monthly active users and their record profits.
All right, so that was 2007, but 2018 was their best year in history, and this is much newer, guys. So here's the article.
Nice one, Altai.
Why did they come up on Google? Why did they even suggest me a 2007 article? I
don't know. Google's a little iffy there. More than 5 million installs, old school RuneScape on iOS. All-time high paying members. All-time high monthly active users. More than 100 new hires at Jagex.
Yeah, it's on mobile now, and it's cross-platform, which I think is the way to do mobile, like Fortnite did. You can hate on Fortnite all you want, but they actually did the cross-platform well.
All right, we should go to the post game.
Okay, we'll go to the post game now, guys. Thanks for listening to the rants.
Mm-hmm.
And, stick
Thanks
around
for watching, guys.
on Twitch.
Thanks for watching YouTube.